What stands out about last couple days in, but expectations for Ventrell Miller and the opportunity he has ahead of him?
Yeah, I mean he's got a great opportunity ahead of him. You know, the guys in there are all competing, but he's had a good first 2 days, man. I mean he showed up today, made some plays again today, and it's important to Ventrell. You know, he loves football, and he's got a lot of great leadership qualities too. The thing that he really brings to our team, and he did last year, and in the past for this organization, is he's a physical guy. You know, he's a physical dude. You can usually hear that when a guy's physical, you know, at the point of attack. And Ventrell's one of those guys, you know, it sounds physical when he makes contact with somebody. So he's doing a good job at this point.
Are you getting a feel throughout camp of how the secondary is going to look? There's a lot of competition. You guys.
Yeah, I think more so the play style of our guys, and I think that's kind of a extension or reflection of Matt and Perk, you know, Drew Lascari, Bill Sheridan. Those guys are all over them. But I think they've brought an extreme level of detail to the guys. There's a lot of accountability in that room. They're hard on each other, but they love playing together, you know, so that's a great room. It's a great room to be in just a day-to-day, even in meetings and everything. They're passionate about football and always looking to do more. So that's coming together in terms of who's going to do what, but we really feel like the whole collective group can give us a lot out there.
Speaking of the secondary, you have 2 days of Travis Hunter being back out there. Just how has he been, and what have you seen out of him?
Yeah, I mean, he's getting back in the flow, back in the swing of things, and he looks good. You know, I think, like a lot of these guys, changed his body a little bit this offseason, you know. So the silver lining, obviously, you never want to see anybody get injured, but I think he really put his best foot forward in the weight room, you know, as he was recovering from a lower body injury, and really built up his upper body and everything. So he just looks really physical, you know, in the teamwork and in the individual period. So he's done a good job.
I saw yesterday you were working individually with him. I know you do that with everybody, but with him, when you can get those extra reps, just how important is that for him? Yeah,
it's awesome because you know, he's got a lot of heavy lifting. He's splitting time, so every second matters, every second counts. And I think that Matt Arujo has done a great job with him in that room. We're just really being super detailed and finding any second of the day to help him out from a fundamentals perspective, you know, and continue to grow.
Coach, what's the biggest difference between, you know, you having to try to install your system last year to it already being installed and coming in the second year?
Yeah, anytime there's familiarity, you know, you can hit the ground running a little bit more. So we probably have, I would say, a little bit more in than we did at this point last year. But at the end of the day, it's about repetition. You know, it's a muscle memory type of sport. And like anything else, like in martial arts, right, you got to get better and better and better. You get better by doing things over and over and over again, you know, and more is more. More reps, more opportunity to get out here and practice, more reps in the walkthrough. That's what we need right now. I think that's what everybody needs this time at camp.
But is that an advantage right now? Like, is that something that you see paying off down the road?
Yeah, I think that's a great question because the NFL season's so long, you know, and the way you practice changes a lot of times during the season. And I thought Liam did an unbelievable job last year. Because I want to say maybe at the midpoint we won the last 7 or whatever it was, or maybe more, I don't even remember. But I think the way that he had the practices set up for us to get a ton of reps as the season went on was a real shot in the arm for our guys. And that really comes from the familiarity, you know, doing it again and again and again. And we're trying to build that. The benefit is, like you said, we have a lot of, we got a good foundation from last year, so we're trying to grow that. And the guys have done a good job, you know, retaining all that information.
What have you seen from Trayvon so far?
Yeah, Trey looks good. You know, I say this to you guys a lot, but he's a special guy for us. He's an important guy for us because he enables us to do a bunch of different things without subbing different personnel groupings on the field. So we can be a lot of things, play a lot of different fronts because of Trayvon. And that's something that's helped us in the run game. And really at the end of the day, if you stop the run on early down, you have an opportunity to rush the passer. And what you're hoping for is to get him behind the sticks and not be playing 50-50 ball. He's one of those guys that enables us to, you know, pin your ears back a little bit more because you're not playing as much 50-50 ball on second and long and third down. So he is super important to our defense. And he's pretty driven right now in terms of what I see from him. he had a great offseason, and he's grinding. He's working his ass off right now.
Sort of the being driven part, is that just to kind of put last year behind him in terms of the injuries and fighting through that, or is it?
Nah, I think if you met,
contract kind of thing?
I think if you met that kid's parents, you see, like he didn't have a choice but to be driven. You know, his old man's a tough guy. He's just like a no nonsense. Like, I want to hang around him. You know what I mean? Like he's the type of guy you want to coach. He's just. That's the way he is, whatever it is. I don't think contract, none of that stuff matters to him. He's just a driven guy, and he's a guy that wants you to be honest with him. And I think that the most important part of improvement is honesty. And he welcomes that. Some guys shy away from that, to catch feelings. He's not one of those guys. He's a total pro. He wants the truth all the time, and we're giving it to him.
I won't put you on the spot. Do you have a favorite Trayvon story at all? Like whether something happened on the field, meeting room, practice? Yeah.
What's that? No, I mean, there's a lot of them. He's all business, and every day you enjoy being around him is what I would say about Trey.
Sort of the same question about Josh. Obviously, he had a good year last year. When you talk to him about this year, anything stand out?
Yeah, I think everybody, looks at last year like at the end, we wanted to do more, we wanted to achieve more, and that starts here. That's all kind of in the future, and everybody's mentality has been, in order for us to do what we want to do and have success, we got to focus on the here and now every day. Josh is one of those guys too. He's got great leadership qualities because he cares about his teammates. A guy who's been that successful, he's a great teammate. And I really value that. I think he's such a big part of what we do because he drives the message, not only in that room, but in the unit room every day.
Josh, you were not only voted top 100, top 50. What did that mean to you when you found out, and just kind of to have that honor from your peers? What does that mean?
Just to see value in you. I don't know. It is what it is. It is what it is. I'm appreciative, but I play the game to be the best in the world. So it was just a step closer, I would say. But it's motivating, and I just got to keep it up. The guys watch the film, and they see what they see. And for me, man, I'm just trying to be an inspiration to myself, be an inspiration to the guys behind me, and keep going to this thing until I get number one.
What's the biggest thing for you this camp over the next couple of weeks that you want to focus on?
I would say, just pass rush wise. I think the physicality, you can't really teach physicality. You either got it or you don't. And I got it, and we got a lot of guys that have that. So for me, just to emphasize on what can I do better going into this year, and that's getting out the ball faster, or working my hands better on the top of the rush, or if they get jump sets, like being able to defeat a blocker. So that's that's kind of what I'm focusing on right now, and it's a good start so far.
Watching film on you and all that stuff. How do you combat them watching film and knowing your moves, and you gotta like the offensive lineman, like when they're trying to? How do you?
It's not about how it is what it is. You still got. I mean, at the end of the day, I can tell. You may see. I may watch film and be like, man, this guy is hot garbage. But you get into a game, and he's locking you up, or you're doing him dirty. You know what I mean? So it's just like. Watching a film is one thing, but then actually going out there, playing with the intentions, playing with that mindset of, I got to take the fight to him because, if you slip up one time, he can take you out. So if they can watch film on me, I feel like everybody knows what I do by this point now. So it's just like, how you going to block me and, what's my counter to that? I always tell the guys, man, football, when you get to a point, pass rushing becomes reactionary. So it's like you come in with a plan, you rush with the plan, but your plan don't work, what is your reaction to it? Because everybody loses. But, like, when that person stops you, what does it look like? How do you respond to that? And I think that's what kind of makes those split-second decisions a lot faster. So do what you got to do. I try to have a game plan off of what I'm going to get, and we're going to go from there.
You're always pretty upfront about your goals. You always say defensive MVP, Super Bowl, Same?
Yeah, of course, man. I tell you, man, why not shoot for the top every year? And so for me, it's not, I didn't get it this year, I didn't get it yet. So that's kind of my mentality until I'm done playing football. I actually got a great text this morning from, Calais Campbell. And, right before I went out to practice, man, he said, he said, I love you, Josh, and, you're going to lead the league in sacks this year. For me, so it's just, even more validation that, you know what I'm saying, I'm on the right path mentally. You know what I'm saying? I got peers around me that see the same thing, and, I got a guy that I looked up to my whole career text me out of the blue when I'm thinking about it naturally. So for me, it's just to keep pushing and, keep finding things to get better in and, maximize off of every opportunity I can.
And I assume that was your goal before that text anyway.
Yeah, 100. That's what I'm saying. It's like, everybody likes to manifest. You got to speak greatness if you want to achieve greatness. And so for me, just to have that mindset when I step on the field, what's my intentions? And then, again, having people come to you like, you had a dream about a person. I'm like, hey, bro, that's the first person you see. But, bro, I just was thinking about you, bro. And it's just like, it's just the universe telling you, maybe, but, it's just how the universe works, man. And it's like the signs.
Sorry.
It's okay.
What's your favorite thing about Trayvon?
Trayvon. I don't think there's not a particular thing that I like or hate about him. He's just an overall great guy. On the field, he's a brother. He treats everybody the same. He jokes, he plays, he's serious. He knows when to turn it on, when to turn it off, turn it on, turn it off. And when we step on the field, he has that mindset that he is the best in the world. And so for me, having a guy that I can, rely on like that is huge. And then off the field, having a guy that I can depend on, it's major to have in the locker room. He's just a great locker room guy.
How are you carrying your momentum off of last season into this off-season training camp and in the future for this season?
It's just, how am I watching the tape? The areas that I feel like I can improve on last year and making that the key focus right now. So right now is, focusing on things that I need to focus on to get better, and then also conditioning. Am I running to the ball? Am I doing the things that I set out, everything that I want to do? That's kind of my main focus, the first couple of days of training camp when we don't got pads on, to let the standard be the standard. So then when we put pads on, things get a little bit more hot, and the sparks get to flying a little bit more. Then I'm still doing the things that I set out in the first place, and that's the main part right now.
BJ and Danny works last year. Have you seen them kind of embrace being you two guys, kind of stepping up, being more veteran guys?
Yeah, man. They're true professionals, man. They take care of their bodies, they take care of their minds, and they come out on the field every single day. I hear from BJ every day. You know what I'm saying? Always, we're like, I tell you, I'm competitive. I think he's not more competitive than me, but he tells me more than I tell people. You know what I'm saying? I'll let you know when we're out here competing. BJ will I'll wake up and I'll walk into the building and he'll be the first thing. I'm gonna be betting you today. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I love that. And after every practice, every play, Josh, you seen that? You seen that? I beat you right here. I got you right here. You probably got me right here. So it's just a lot of competition flying around with me and him. And then Danny, again, is a true professional. He's working on the things that he needs to work on, and he's taking heed to it, and they're all progressing.
Talk about your goals, things you're manifesting. Is there a line between focusing on it and obsessing, or is there not a line and you're just completely dialed in?
I like to be obsessed with it. You know what I'm saying? But again, you got to be healthy about it, and that's what I'm talking about, like being intentional about the work that you do. You know what I mean? Like when I go out, home, I'm not obsessive about it. You know what I'm saying? I'm dialed in. I'm in that moment. I'm spending time with my family, and I'm taking off, relaxing my brain. Because if I just wake up and, I wake up thinking about football, I go to sleep thinking about football. But, like, when I don't need to and I'm spending time with my family, like, I'm in that moment. You know what I'm saying? I'm in the hotel room. I'm watching film because I'm in here. But as soon as I get home and it's, playbook down and Josh present, I'm here in this moment. And so for me, man, yes, I'm obsessed with it. And if I'm not, then, probably done playing football.
Okay. I was just going to say, do you feel lighter mentally going into the season, knowing all of the things that your family were going through last year, kind of? Or is that not even something that's on your brain?
No, it's football. I'm here to, my family knows that this is my job. And in order for us to be where we need to be, I need to be the best version of me. And so my family allows me to be myself, which allows me to be myself, if that makes sense. So yeah, my family allows me to shine and take care of me, and I'm gonna take advantage of the time that I do have.
Way before anybody else was saying it last year, you were saying Devon was the best nose tackle in the league.
He is.
What about him do you like and makes him that good?
I mean, for me, you can't put words until you just got to watch the film. You know what I mean? Because, you know, there's the highest paid nose tackles. You see all these guys that, you know, to get the recognition. And, you know what I'm saying? You're like, oh, they're the best because they have all that. They have the accolades. But, again, when your peers, you know, like myself, I don't have, like people say, I don't got sacks. Oh, you're not a good edge. But your peers turn on the tape and they study, and they be like, this dude's a hell of a player. When you turn on the tape and watch Devon Hamilton, he's the best nose in the game. I've never seen him get drove off the ball. He's always playing with consistent knockback. Nobody runs in his gap. And, like, you know, and he's working on the things that he needs to improve on from last year. And now, you know, he works on those things. You know, you get Devon 3 or 4 sacks a year. You know, he's the best in the world nationally. You know what I mean? So, you know, we're still working on that. We got a whole bunch of guys like that, and you know, we play for each other, man. That's the gist of us.